We met at young adults at church. It's kind of one of those moments where I saw Jed across the room and I thought that he was incredibly handsome. But we didn't actually meet that night, I don't think.
No, I think it was like a little while after.
Yeah.
We met at the cafe at church just before you went away to Mexico.
Yeah, I was about to start backpacking Mexico. And I was super excited to meet Jed. We had a good chat. I was like totally enamoured because at the time he was landing to fly a plane and I thought that was pretty cool. But Jed also thought that I was going to be in Mexico for a long time, so...
And didn't think you knew I existed?
Yeah, even though we talked.
Like once. And you thought my sister was my girlfriend?
I thought that Beck was dating Jed and I was a bit devastated until I realised that they were in fact sisters.
Slyly asked,
what's going on now? How do you guys know each other? It's like, sister, yes, sister! So I actually used our dear friend Martin, I didn't know how to approach Jed because he was so quiet, but I was really, really into him. So Marty came up with the idea of having like a group going to the movies together, and that gave me an excuse to text Jed and be like, hey, do you want to come to the movies with us? He couldn't make it, but he sent me a text kind of like the day after asking me out to dinner. So
I said, hey, it's Jed, and you're like, who the hell is Jed?
Right. Jed introduced himself as Jeremy, and so when I got a message saying, hey, it's Jed, I'm like,
who is this?
Who?
But yeah, so that was good. And then our first date was like this Italian restaurant in Penrith. And I went and picked Ella up, and then the whole night went well. It was like...
It was really lovely.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was romantic.
Yeah, like a little bit awkward, but it always is.
There was a guy who was really drunk and bought everyone shots at the restaurant, so that was added bonus.
Yeah. And then when I got home, I had absolutely no idea what to do.
He just like completely froze.
I like fully like white knuckled the steering wheel and then just wouldn't move and then just said goodbye and then just drove off.
But like, no, I was sitting there and Jed's just like this, you know, and I was like, oh, I had a really great time. Jed's still... I'm like, all right, well, I'll just go in then. Yep. Good night. Okay, all right, good night. I went in. I said to my two roommates at the time, I'm like, I think that was it. I don't think he likes me. He didn't even get out of the car to say goodbye. But he still liked me.
Yeah, I think I texted you the next day.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be moving to Canberra with my best friend. And we'd made plans. I'd gotten a job. We were looking for a house. She had already moved down. So there was so much pressure for me to go, but I don't know, I felt when I met Jed, something just felt right, and I hadn't felt that before in a relationship to that level, and I prayed about it and I felt like God was telling me to stay, which was super rough because, like I said, my best friend was already down there, and so I had to make up that decision. And then, you know, Jed invited me over to meet his family, which coincidentally turned out to be his uncle's 50th birthday party.
Or 40th, yeah. I think
or 40th.
I think, yeah.
One of, like, a big birthday party. So I thought I was going over to meet Jed's family, and then I met, like, all 40-something of them in one day, which was terrifying. But I think that also cemented it because, you know, I realised that I fell in love with Jed's family the same time I fell in love with Jed. So that was pretty special. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And remember the ostrich egg?
Oh, yeah, we still got it. It's up there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had this ostrich egg, and I think it was like the conversation we had.
Yeah.
Which was like, are we boyfriend, girlfriend thing? Yeah. And it was like, I had this ostrich egg, I think, for my dad. So they're like massive. And I all thought it was fake. And then she's like, no, it's plastic, and then just snapped this huge chunk off it. For some reason, that always sticks in my head. But then, that was like, after that, like, well, during that car ride, we had the conversation about all that kind of stuff. So.
And then Jed got it engraved. I know that I fell in love first. I was really stubborn. I didn't want to be the one to say, I love you first. I was a strong believer that Jed should be the one to put himself out there and be really vulnerable first. But it took us a little while. I fell in love after 6 months of being together. I think I was a little bit cautious And I'm not. When did you fall in love?
I think it was around a similar time, because I'd probably, I'd gone to Europe and then come back.
Yeah.
And then, it'd be like a few months kind of after that, and then I think it all went well.
Yeah, it was gradual, but yeah.
I think you did end up saying it first, didn't you?
No, I was like 100% not going to be the first person that said it. I hinted at the fact that I loved you and was like hinting that you should say it first, but it took you a little while to get there.
Yeah, fair enough. The engagement, like the actual proposal, I had like lots of little plans.
It was on our 2-year dating anniversary.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a feeling something was coming. We went out to the Kangaroo Valley. Jed was planning on proposing at this little Italian restaurant. It
was like a little cafe. I'm so glad we didn't. It looked a lot more romantic on the internet, but luckily we didn't. But that weekend was a complete mess because we had Mum and Dad's car and the battery like died. So we were like in this valley, like at the back of Kangaroo Valley, and so we had to get like the car jump started when we were there by the guy who owned the place. Yeah. And then on the way to town, pretty much the car was like just shutting down as we were getting into town. Broke down at a service station.
Hitched a lift.
Yeah, hitched a lift from this Canadian guy to the pub, and then we just had drinks there and bits and pieces and called NRMA and Mum and Dad and sorted all that out. The car. They had a creek there as well, and I was like tossing up 1,000 different options going down there or what have you. I ended up writing "Will you marry me" in barbecue sauce on a plate after breakfast.
I was dealing out cards and I turned around and Jed was sitting there with a plate with "Will you marry me" written in smoky barbecue.
Smoky, that's right. That was the ad. Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah, that was it. And then Mum came around, Mum and Dad came to pick us up
30 minutes later. So it was really lovely.
Yeah, that's cool. Not exactly how we wanted to plan, but
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, still a story.
It's pretty classic. Cool. Yeah. We got married at Lorella, which is in Lura. It's a big open
It's all outdoors.
Ceremony. All outdoors. So the whole wedding was a picnic wedding up there.
And we had no plan B.
No plan B. And the whole week it was like supposed to be raining. So the rain kept on coming closer and closer until the forecast said it was going to bucket down on our wedding day. And everyone was telling us, no, you need to have a plan B. You need to make sure that, you're getting married somewhere indoors. And I was like, nah, God's going to come through. He's going to provide. We're getting married in this spot. There is nowhere else. Yeah. And on the day, it was so clear and so hot. Cicadas were out, but they stopped for the ceremony.
During the ceremony, which was cool.
And Jed and I stayed right to the end. We wanted to kind of celebrate and then see everybody off and then pack down ourselves. So after we finished putting the last thing in the car, it started to rain. And it was just like, it felt like it was the biggest blessing over our marriage. We wanted to be married for a while. So we were married for 6.5 years before we started trying. We wanted to travel together. That was a real big thing, and do kind of things that would make it a little bit more difficult when we had our bubba. So we travelled through Europe and we did, Central America, those sorts of places, scuba dived, just enjoyed life together. We were initially planning on opening a restaurant together, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened. Had a big pray about it and we felt like it wasn't the right time. God kind of gave us a sign that it was about time for us to start trying for a baby, and we took that and fell pregnant straight away. So again, it's just,
I think that was the biggest thing, kind of when the restaurant plans or cafe plans kind of semi fell through. It kind of just worked out to be a really good time to kind of push into that. So
God kind of planted the seed that it was time for us to have a baby. We took it and then travelled to Ireland, did one last big trip, fell pregnant, COVID happened. And it was just a big this is why you aren't opening your restaurant.
Exactly,
We found out really early. So we found out at 3 weeks. I had a lot of symptoms and I, really kind of when you fall. I really stupidly took the test midday and Jed was at work in the office. And so I had to like keep this secret. And I was planning on this big surprise, how I was going to tell him. I was going to hold off and do something really special, like buy a onesie or something. He walked through the door and I was like, I'm pregnant! I couldn't keep it in. So, you know, maybe for number 2 I might be a bit more chill, but I don't think chill is who we are.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So his full name is Harvey Badman. The Harvey is from the TV show Suits. We were watching it and thought Harvey was a real strong name and we loved it. Otama.
Yeah, so Otmar is my granddad's name. Or actually, like, it's spelt Othmar, but we dropped.
Aussies just wouldn't get that.
Yeah, we dropped, but then pronounced Otmar. So we dropped the H. And, but yeah, so he passed away a few years ago, but, so he is from Germany, and kind of lived through World War II as a teenager. Did a part of his apprenticeship and was in like the youth for a bit, but yeah, so we wanted to carry his name along.
Well, he didn't really like being in the Hitler Youth. I think I'll add
yeah,
there, and then ended up hiding in a forest for the later part of the war.
Yeah, because it was like kind of near the end when everything was kind of falling apart. So.
But yeah, it was kind of, we wanted to carry on his name. He has such an amazing story, and you know, he stood for what was right. And he was a brilliant man as well, so we wanted to carry that along. Kind of before Harv, we did a lot of travel, kind of spent a lot of time together. Lots of sleep-ins, you know, not so much anymore. Like, Harv is a good sleeper though, so that's alright. After he was born, we started building our granny flat, so we're just kind of, now that it's finished, we're just settling into what it's like to actually, you know, be a family and do stuff together. So going on hikes and chilling out, going for picnics, going to the park. But it is a bit different, especially when you've got a boy like this who just wants to be moving,
running around everywhere.
24/7.
What are you doing, buddy? Yeah, so his favourite food is sushi.
Yeah, favourite food is sushi.
He'll eat like a full tray just to himself.
He just can't
It's
get
an
enough.
absolute machine.
Sushi, go get cheese and pasta are his like go-tos.
Yeah.
We're massive foodies, so I always thought, you know, my son will just eat whatever I cook. Ha ha ha. No. He loves, and we have this giant dinosaur called Littlefoot that he adores, and he loves his toy cars. They're probably his go-tos.
Yeah, and he loves his little toy cars, and now pegs, obsessed with pegs.
Yeah,
and books. He loves the books.
Oh, he is the biggest bookworm.
Yeah.
You'll find him, like you know, give him independent play. You'll turn around and he's just sitting there with a pile of books, rummaging through the books.
Trying to look at them, and now he's just like rips all the flaps off everything.
Yeah.
Like
oh wow. Harvey, do you want some more mango? Yeah.
Oh, yummy.
Delicious. We love hiking together, really trying to get into that lately. We, you know, realise living in the Blue Mountains, it's just, we want to take advantage of where we live. Apart from that, kind of going to the park, hanging out with family, doing arty things together. Jed and I are going through this current craze of like painting pots.
Yeah.
Garden pots, really colourfully, so that's our big thing. Hopefully Harvey will get into it.
Yeah.
Good boy. This is what I mean about being a bookworm. Come on, up you get. Good boy. Our hopes for Harvey's future is good health. We both have families that have been affected by health things, so we want him to grow up with good health, but also his parents being in good health. And other things is just obviously like getting to know God in the way that we do. Yeah, just want him to be happy, like whoever he is and whoever he decides to be.
Yeah.
We just want to support him in that. So it's just raising him in an environment where he feels comfortable to be 100% himself. That's our big thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just trying to have little bits of adventure here and there, and hopefully camping and bits and pieces, and
Help mum cook.
Yeah, have a little cook. hopefully a little foodie.
Yeah, I
But
know.
he'd probably just be like a little...
No, he's got to be a foodie. With both of us as parents, you've got to be a foodie.
Yeah, but I only became a foodie, like...
After you met me.
you,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, but, you know, he came from me, so hopefully he's a foodie.
Hopefully.
But, like, I mean, if we're opening a restaurant one day, which is what we still plan to do, I'm hoping that he'll enjoy food. We're going to start trying, hopefully, by the end of the year, early next year,
Yeah.
have another little bubba, hopefully. Fall as easy as we did last time, but you know, if not, with God's timing. Yeah, and I carry the twin genes, so the moment we hit the next baby, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want 4 children. And if one day we're watching this and I have 4 children,
That'd be hilarious.
so yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one, and our baby girl. Hey Maggie,
Little Maggie.
our little Maggie,
Love Maggie.
big sulky baby.
Yeah.
I guess
Really, this feels like our golden years, you know. I'm excited to be 30, to be, you know, finally confident in who I am as a person, in who I am as a mum and a wife. Yeah, I feel like these are great years for us. Well, it has been for the last 10
Yeah.
years that we've been together, so yeah.
Yeah, and the grain fat's done. So.
And now the granny part's done. Things will be much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, just feeling really happy about who we are. We're just kind of waiting and just making sure that what we're doing is on the right track of where we should be, but yeah.